Hi, scrapbookers, and welcome to this special week of layouts. For this week, I'm going to try to post a video every day. I'm not going to promise because I only have 2 layouts done so far, and this is the start of this week. So as of right now, I'm going to upload 2 videos this week. It might be more, it might not. But for this first day, I am doing a school-themed layout hop. And basically what I am going to do is I'm going to take photos and that are from school, like school themed photos, and I'm going to scrapbook them. And I will have a link below in the description with all of the other ladies that are going to be joining me. And some of them are going to be doing process videos. Some of them are just going to be posting on their blogs. Some of them are just going to be posting in the Facebook group that I have created. And so I will have all of those links down in the description below so that you can visit all of these wonderful ladies that are going to be participating in this little school themed layout hop. So I'm way excited. Okay, now that I have the explanation over with, let's get to the layout. So here I am just cutting out this little cut apart that says "That's Just Lovely" from the Chamel collection. And I just recently bought this paper pad from Michael's. It was a very hot buy, which is, funny because it was actually a hot buy purchase at Michael's. So what that is that they take paper pads and they drop them down to $5. Usually the paper pads are about $20. And so I found this one and only pad of the Chamel True Stories line, and I was so excited to find it because I had been wanting it, but I didn't want to have to pay $20 or $15 and then have to pay shipping on top of that. So I was way excited. So there I just kind of was flipping through all of the papers in the pad and just ripping out ones that I thought I might want to use. So here I'm really liking, I has bought separately the yellow polka dot paper, and I had used that on a different layout. So it's already cut up. And so here I'm just thinking, well, maybe I'll just use it as kind of like a layer behind the photos. And I did pull out a white sheet of just plain cardstock for the background because I was thinking I liked all of those patterns, but I didn't want them to be the background. So that's why I decided to use a white sheet of paper. Now here I'm just going to kind of mess around with the placement of the photos, and here I decide I'm going to, for the title, I'm thinking that I'm going to have it be a well-worn folder. And then I consulted with my husband, and he thought it sounded cool if I would have named it a well-worn education. And so that's what I'm going to end up doing. And here I am just going to cut out all of these letters, and it is going to take forever. Like, I think this layout took me an hour and a half, if not longer. It might have taken an hour and 45 minutes. I didn't even record all of it because it was just taking so long and I didn't want all of that space taken up on my hard drive. So I'm going to cut out all of the letters for the word education, and then I'm going to start fussy cutting them out, and you can see that that's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to cut all of the letters out, or I'm going to fussy cut all of them, and then I will, oh, I did turn it off. There you go. So now I'm all done with fussy cutting all of those out, and I'm loving how this is looking. So I'm just fitting them all on there, and let's see, what am I going to do next? I just made this layout a couple days ago, and I still, I can't remember what I do next. And so, okay, so here I'm thinking, well, maybe I should switch up these layers and cut this photo down. And so I'm going to cut all of the photos down a little bit more. And I am going to make the yellow polka dot paper just be a matte on the background around the whole photo. And it's going to take a lot of tweaking because the photos are a little bit bigger than some of these pieces of paper. And yeah, so it's gonna take a lot of work to do this. So here I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll put these two on this one and just do a bunch of layers. And then I cut this one in half, and I was like, maybe I'll just put it on both of these sides, but I just really didn't like how that looked. So here I'm gonna cut down the photos a little bit more so that this one will fit on that scrap of paper, and it works out really well. And then I'm gonna cut that one down. And now here I'm gonna fiddle with this photo on the left hand. So I cut one of those in half, and I'm going to cut the other one in half, and then I'm going to use it to just border the outside of the photo. So here's what I'm doing. And it takes a lot of maneuvering to get this to work, but I finally get it to work, and I'm really happy with the results. Like, you can barely even tell that these were, you know, 4 different pieces of paper, you know, made into one background. So it's always really nice when you try something out and it works out. So I'm just gonna piece all of these together, and it is gonna take a little bit of fussy cutting, and because one piece is longer than the other, and so I have to go back and cut it and yada yada. Yeah, a lot of fussing. I really think that this layout probably took like an hour and 45 minutes. I would not be surprised. What I did record was an hour and 18 minutes, and I think there was about 30 minutes that I was, you know, cutting out the letters, and then you know, trying to do all of that. So okay, so now I think I'm all done with those, matting those photos, and so here I am just going to move them around, and I'm not sure where I went off to, probably playing with my computer, because if you haven't watched my videos before, you might know that while I scrapbook, I watch process videos on YouTube, and so if one ends, I have to start a new one. So I think I ran off to go do that. Okay, so now I'm back, and here I'm just going to cut up this red diagonal striped paper. And I don't cut it quite in half, it's a little bit less than half. And then I'm just going to place the photos on top of that. I had an extra little slit that I had cut off the top, because when you get the paper pad, it's got like that edging from where they had the little strip above it. And so I didn't like the way that looked on the top of the paper. So I cut a little teeny tiny strip off, and then I just used my mono glue to glue that up at the top. And here I'm just gluing down the photos, and then I'm going to glue down that whole piece of paper. And at this point, I am going to start gluing down the word education. And right now, I have no idea where I want to put the rest of the title. I'm thinking I'm going to have it go above that strip where the photos are and everything, but I wasn't really sure. And so here I'm just kind of making the word education a little bit wonky, because some of them needed to overlap in order to fit the whole word on there. And so I'm just kind of making it a little wonky, and some of them overlapping a little bit, and just so that it kind of all fits and flows. So that takes a little bit of time. And I am really excited because I decide for the rest of the title to use a new stamp set that I just got from Close to My Memories, or Close to My Heart. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And so yeah, I'm excited to show you that. Okay, so I got the word education down, and now I'm just kind of cleaning up my desk a little bit, getting all those extra pieces of paper off. And here is where I pull out this new stamp set, and this one is actually discontinued. So I apologize, you can't buy it anymore. I just bought it right before they discontinued it, and I was really excited that I got it. So and I just got it like a week ago. So I had so much fun using it for the first time. So here I am just writing out the words a well worn. And the thing that I love about Close to My Memories stamps, or Close to My Memories, oh my gosh, I don't know why I keep saying that. Close to My Heart stamps is that they are the photopolymer. And so they're really good quality. They stick really well no matter how many times you use them. And if they, kind of end up losing their stick a little bit, you can just wash them with a little bit of dish soap and the stickiness comes right back. So it's really awesome. And I actually haven't been using their stamps in so long. Like I kind of got out of stamping. And so I just recently found a new consultant and she is awesome and I absolutely love her. So I'm way excited. And I am actually doing a Close to My Heart party right now. So I will leave information for that down below. If you want to place an order, you can go to her website and just click on the party link for me. She put it under Megan B's party, and then you can go shopping and I get the credit for it and all that fun stuff. So yeah. Okay, so here I am all done with my title. That last word didn't work out as well as I had hoped just because the photos were a little bit longer, but that's okay. I still really like the way it turned out. So here I'm just cleaning up my stamps and then I'm going to put them away. And it's good to clean your stamps right afterwards. I know not everybody does, and I don't always do it. I mean, usually I do it. But if you don't do it, I mean, it's not the end of the world. Okay, so now what am I going to do? Let's see. Oh, I'm going to put away this ink pad, and I don't know why, but I have the hardest time closing these Close to My Heart. I said it right that time. I have the hardest time closing the lids to the ink pads. I don't know why. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. So I decided to add a little bit of water to the other side of the ink pad and to do some splats, some ink splattering, whatever you call that, misting. And then I think I pulled out some stencils because I was like, well, maybe I should use up the rest of this ink that's on there. So I pulled out a watercolor paper pad that I got at Michael's for like $1 or something. It's like one of those cheapo pads. And I just used up the rest of the ink that was in the lid of that ink pad. And this stencil is one that I made. I got the cutout file from the Silhouette store, and then I just used some Silhouette chipboard paper to cut it out. And the chipboard paper works pretty well as a stencil as long as you coat it in something like I think I used not modeling paste. Regular matte medium or something like that, matte gel or something. And then that gets a kind of coating so that it doesn't like fall apart when it gets wet. Okay, so here I'm just going to cut this Project Life card up, and I just cut out the part that says, "That's just lovely." And then I thought, well, it needs something more behind it, so I'm going to put it on this blue polka dot paper, and you'll see in a little bit, I'm going to completely scrap that idea because it just doesn't work out. I like the way it looks, but it doesn't work on this layout. So I just completely scrap it. I'm going to kind of fiddle with it for a little bit here, but I'm going to end up not liking it. Yeah, see there, I decide to pull it off and then I ink it up with the sapphire ink pad. And then I'm like, well, if I ink that up, I need to ink everything else. And so I'm gonna pull out this Tim Holtz circle, what do you call those? I don't know what you call them. But I pull that out and I'm just going to ink around all the edges of the paper that red diagonal stripe paper, and then I'm also going to do all around the whole layout. Maybe. I know I'm going to. I don't know when I'm going to. So here I am just kind of making a few little cuts in the paper and just folding them and just ripping it up, just because since the picture is about Brennan bringing home his folder on the last day of school and how beat up it was, and it was seriously like falling apart. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. Like, why wouldn't he have told me he needed a new folder? Because it's, I could have given him a new folder, but he apparently just loved this Ninja Turtle folder so much that he did not want to part with it. And so on the last day of school, I took a picture of him with his folder and then both sides of the folder so you could see what it looked like. So here I'm just doing my journaling, and my journaling just says that I was so surprised when Brennan came home with such a beat up folder on the last day of school. And I just kept it sweet and simple. I am going to use one of my rotary date stamps, and I believe the one that I pull out is from Studio Calico. And I'm just going to use an arrow and point it towards the paragraph. And let's see, not much left here. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Oh, I do decide to pull out some epoxy bubbles. And these were actually from a Studio Calico kit that I got in June of 2014. So here I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them all around the top of the layout, and then that's going to be the end of this layout. So thanks so much for watching, guys, and I hope you will take a minute to visit all the other ladies and see all of the wonderful layouts that they make as well. And come on over and check us out in our Facebook group and see all that we're doing. So thanks so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye. Were actually from a Studio Calico kit that I got in June.